FireModule is a free web-based software that allows fire departments to collect, view, and manage their third-party inspection reports. So here we have a web-based browser, which means that you don't need to download anything on any of your devices to use it, and you can use it on any device that has access to the internet. We wanted to make a software that's as simple as possible for fire marshals and inspectors and the like. We know that they're very busy folks, so we wanted them to be able to get in and get out without wasting much time. So we condensed everything that we thought they might need down into a simple dashboard that consists of three simple tabs. So the first tab is the pending reports tab. This is where all of the quote unquote heavy lifting of managing the ITM reports come in. Each one of these rows is an individual report that has been submitted to the department for review. It'll tell you things like the shorthand for the address. If you click on that, it'll give you the longhand as well as the building owner's phone, as well as an option to reject the report if it doesn't actually belong to your jurisdiction. It'll tell you the system that was inspected, the inspection frequency for that particular type of inspection. If you go ahead and click on that, it'll give you more granular details like when the inspection was performed, when it was submitted to the department, basic contact information for the service provider. Obviously, you'll be able to need to be able to see any of the documents that the contractor or inspector fills out while they perform the inspection. So those can be viewed as a PDF in another tab in your browser. This is obviously just a dummy PDF, but to show you how it works. And then based on that information, you're either going to approve the report or mark it deficient. You'll notice over here in the systems column that some of the systems are green and some of them are red. A green system just means that the inspector thought that the system passed the inspection. There weren't really any deficiencies. And so if it looks green, you check the report and everything looks good, you can go ahead and approve it. Super simple. But unfortunately, sometimes reports do come in and systems are deficient. If a system comes in red, that just means the contractor thought that the system failed the inspection. If you go ahead and click on the red, it'll tell you the deficiencies that the inspector identified. You can take a look through the report to see if there's any other deficiencies, but when you go to mark it deficient, it'll preload those deficiencies that the inspector identified. And if you find any other reports that you'd like to add, we'll just say this thing is bad. You can add it at the click of a button. And if there's anything that you think doesn't belong on the list or is a mistake, you can go ahead and remove it. But once you click that yes, mark is deficient, two things happen. One, obviously the report is marked deficient, which changes what's going on with its associated premise in the premise tab. We'll get into that in a moment. But the other thing that happens is that we send out a notification saying, here are the list of deficiencies. They need to be resolved. Have them resolved in the next 30 days. We also send out automatic notifications whenever a system is coming due for inspection. We'll send those out 30 days prior. And then we also send out notifications if a system that we're tracking goes past due by 30 days. We'll send out a notification telling folks that that system needs to be inspected. So on this page, you're getting the reports, you're approving them or marking them deficient. And based on that decision, it's going to affect what's going on over here in the premise tab. So the premise tab is basically an overview of all of the commercial buildings in your jurisdiction. Like the last tab, it'll give you the shorthand of the premise. If you click on it, it'll give you the longhand as well as the building owner's phone. It'll tell you the kind of systems that we're tracking at that particular premise. You can view any you can view any reports that have been submitted to that premise in the past. But the most interesting column is this status column right here. So a premise can be one of three statuses. It can be pending, which just means that there's a pending report over here on the pending reports dashboard you need to take a look at. It can be compliant, which just means that all of the systems that we're tracking there are good to go and in good standing. They passed their inspection, they were submitted on time. It'll even tell you when that next inspection is due, just so you can keep tabs on things. But unfortunately, sometimes systems are also, or I should say, premises become non-compliant. And a premise can become non-compliant in our system for one of two reasons. The first reason is if a particular system goes past due on its inspection. So here we have a kitchen hood suppression system supposed to be inspected every 6 months. It looks like this one was due 158 days ago. So when that due date rolled around and we didn't have any documentation updating that system, it automatically changed to non-compliant. And anytime a singular system at a premise is non-compliant, the whole premise becomes non-compliant. The other reason a premise can become non-compliant is if a particular system obviously fails an inspection. So here we have a sprinkler system. It failed its inspection 78 days ago, which just means that a report came in on the pending reports tab, had some deficiencies, it was marked deficient, and now that system is non-compliant until a repair report is submitted. You'll notice these counters up here at the top. These just give you a sort of bird's eye view of what's going on in your jurisdiction. Pending is the number of pending reports you have you need to take a look at. Compliant is the number of compliant premises in your jurisdiction, and non-compliant is the number of non-compliant jurisdictions, or sorry, non-compliant premises in your jurisdictions. We included these filters up here at the top just to make navigating the information easier. You can search for things like address, system, inspection dates, statuses of things. Just makes moving around the dashboards a little bit easier. And then the final tab is the service providers tab. This is the simplest of them all. It just provides an overview of who are the folks who are submitting stuff to your department. It'll give you the name of the contractor company, or if it's an individual contractor, just their name, the kind of systems they work on, basic contact information like phone and email. And you can also view any reports that they've submitted to you in the past as well. The very last piece of the software is this inspection types tab down here. I don't really mention it just because you should only ever need to deal with it one time, and that's when you first log in. But this is what gives you control over the kind of reports that you have coming in. So here we have some basic systems like fire alarm, hood suppression system, sprinkler system. These are the only systems that an inspector can submit a report to you for. So if there's anything else you want to keep a tab on, let's say you want to track fire extinguisher reports, you can go ahead and select the system and its frequency and add it to your list. If there's anything you don't want on your list, you can easily hit the X and get rid of it. But basically what this does is when a contractor goes to submit a report for your department, they select your department from the dropdown, they can only select these kind of systems to submit reports for. So you're only seeing the things you want to see and you're not seeing anything you don't want to see. So everything you see here is super simple, like I said, but it is also free for everyone in your community. So the software itself is free. It doesn't cost the department anything to use it. Inspectors aren't charged any sort of fee to use it, and no costs are passed on to the building owner. So the software is free, but we do have some premium services that folks can opt into if they're interested. The first one is report review. We work with the department to find a retired inspector or retired fire marshal to look through the reports on the department's behalf, proving them or marking them deficient. That costs $6 per report, which the inspector is charged whenever they would submit a report to your department. And then the second service we offer is full service management. That's $10 per report, and it includes everything in report review, but we'll also have we'll have that reviewer follow up on the deficient premises to remind folks that the systems are indeed deficient and they need to be fixed. So once again, super simple stuff. If you so desire, it can be free for everybody in your department, everybody in your community as well. And the implementation process is actually pretty simple. There's two steps. Step one, I make you an account. That takes about 5 minutes. And then step two is we just need to let contractors in your area know that instead of mailing in the reports or emailing them, they need to go to this portal from now on. But that's the software. It helps increase code compliance. It's very simple, it's very easy to onboard, and it can be free for everybody in your community. So we're hoping that we can do a lot of good with it. And if you're interested, feel free to schedule a demo on our website or reach out to us. Thanks so much, and have a great rest of your day.